So in order to demonstrate why seam is marked, we'll just scale this object down, scale it out, and then we'll Shift A, bring in another cube, and we'll select both of them and press Q and choose difference from the Q menu. Hopefully by now, me pressing Q and selecting difference all the time isn't something that should be considered an advanced technique or something difficult to follow. The goal is definitely to try to demystify some of the workflows and the way that I work with hard ops, because most of the time I am Shift A, adding a cube, Shift D, duplicating a cube, Shift selecting the main target with the secondary object, and then pressing Q and choosing difference. So really, when it comes to hard ops and using the Boolean workflow, that's really all there is to it. At this point, I'm just adding a plane, pressing Q, choosing solidify because this mesh has 0 dimensions, which triggers that menu. And so now we have this shape that we've created. I'm going to go ahead and just apply visual geometry to mesh. And if we look at this shape, we can see that, for the most part, selecting things isn't too difficult. But let's say that we had a series of knife cuts in here, because we were working in some details. So I'm just going to bring this plane up top and we'll select both, and I'll just shift click knife, and we'll just rotate this and shift click knife again. And I just know that every time I'm shift clicking knife, it's running a knife project because it's saying it at the bottom. And what this means is when I go back in edit mode, it's been knife projected. So now selecting these faces, actually, if I want to select this entire face area, it would require 4 clicks because of all the internal geometry that's happening inside. Of course, I could clean it and simplify it, but let's say we didn't want to do that. Because of apply seam being on inside of sharp options, if we were to press Q and press sharpen, this means that now I can press 3 and just hover over a face region and select it as if it's a UV region. And so this is something I utilize for modeling just as a quick way to get certain face regions that are based off of sharps as their limitation. And it just comes handy more and more as I've used it over time, that it's just become a mainstay. In fact, we'll just mark this as sharp again. You can see that this line's here. Sometimes when you're modeling and you're actually working with these red lines happening from your marking, you can mess up the actual marking information, basically getting you an inaccurate result. So as part of sharpen, there's also an option here called resharp, which you can see comes up whenever you control shift click. So if we control shift click sharpen, you can see that now it actually recalculated the sharp information, allowing us to cleanly go back and just select these face areas with L. So that in a nutshell is why seam is a thing inside of hard ops.